Welcome back to the Forge. We are in the middle of the 6th 18. The next two sayings, 6.5 and 6.6, look at the theme of loss. So let's just read these two out and then we'll look at them after. 6.5, the kingdom of the Father is like a woman who was carrying a jar full of grain. Walking on a road far from home, the handle of the jar broke and the grain poured out behind her onto the road. She did not notice. She did not realize their loss. When she reached her house, she put the jar down and found it empty. 6.6, kingdom of the Father is like a man wanting to kill a powerful person. In his own house, he drew his sword and thrust it into the wall so that he would know that his hand would be strong enough. Then he killed the powerful person. 6.5 and 6.6 are bound together by the word loss. The first saying about the woman carrying the jar of grain is about the loss of spiritual knowledge, the loss of spiritual connection. And all of us will go through times when events or situations happen in the physical world that need our attention, that pull our focus onto something in the physical world. There are times of great stress, of great troubles being a physical human being. And it is often during those times that we lose our focus or lose our connection to that non-spiritual dimension. And it happens very naturally. This particular saying, 6.5, we looked at in evolution. It is one of those sayings that comes from very personal experience of Mary Magdalene. This is her speaking from experience. Being in a new place, being far from home, with difficulties that are happening in life, she loses that connection. And it is only after some time where she reaches her house, the house being somewhere safe, somewhere that she is away from the difficulties or stresses of the outside world, that she realizes just how immersed she's become in the physical world. So this is a warning to us from her to say, there will be times when you lose that connection, and it will come to you at some point. Your awareness will suddenly realize, I've lost that. How do I regain it? How do I find it? And you feel that you've gone all the way back to the beginning once again. That won't be the case. It is through your knowledge, understanding, rereading of the sayings, through meditation, through that place of solitude, that you can re-establish that. And all of a sudden it will all come back like being underneath a waterfall. 6.6, the man wanting to kill a powerful person. This is this place that you will get to where you realize the dominance of the familiar self. You'll realize that it's automatic programming, it's automatic reactions and responses to the world based on this unconscious depth of programming of beliefs and fears and phobias and habits and all those things which bubble away down in the unconscious. You suddenly realize how dominant that is. Your self-image is who you believe you are. And it's not going to go away easily. It is from that place of the passerby or the witness that the sort of awareness can start to hack away at those responses that happen automatically because of situations or events that are happening in the world. It is that is being described here. It is that sense of wanting to kill off the familiar self. You realize that is not who you are any longer. That is not who you would like to be. Because who you would like to be is more to do with what you would like to be. It's that uncovering of the living spirit. And it is a long process of chopping away with the sort of awareness, but also this inner conflict that happens as you start to examine the habits and the programming that make up who you are. That finally leads you to this place where, in this state of connection, in presence that you have in those times of solitude, where you can know and interact with the living spirit, it is in those moments that the familiar self begins to fade away and drop away. And the more that presence is with you, the less influence the familiar self has. There is this very noticeable change in thought and action that happens. Eventually that leads to this place of union where two become one. And it is then that consciousness, the living spirit, which is the primary place of conscious that all your interactions then come from. There is a turning inside that looks towards that non-physical consciousness as its source of interaction and knowledge. The familiar self changes and it becomes perhaps we could call it the navigational system. What is aiding life in the physical world. And we need some of that in order to continue to be in this non-physical dimension. But we primarily know ourselves as a being that comes from the non-physical. So the theme of these two is loss. One is about the loss of our spiritual connection, and the other one is about the loss of the familiar self.